Governor Gavin Newsom delivered his State of the State address last Tuesday and mentioned big topics from the economy, health care, and homelessness. ABC 10's Walt Gray spoke with a CalMatters journalist to learn more on the details of the governor's message to Californians.
Welcome to our weekly discussion of all things current in California politics. I'm Walt Gray. Joining us this week, reporter Emily Hoeven, political expert for CalMatters.org. Emily, nice to see you again. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. We're kind of fact-checking the State of the State address that the governor had earlier this week. So 3 things that we want to ask you about. One thing that the governor mentioned was about the California current economy, that it remains unmatched in terms of where we are now. What are you finding?
Well, he loves to sort of bash Texas and Florida and point out that California, has created more jobs in those red states. He also touted the fact that California created about a quarter of the nation's new jobs in December. But what he did not mention was that California also had one of the highest unemployment rates in the nation. And so, even if a lot of those jobs are being created, people are not necessarily filling them. And on top of that, he also pointed out that California, has never left any worker behind. But, our fact check found that although lawmakers did pass COVID sick pay and Newsom signed it into law, it actually exempted about 1 in 4 workers that work for small businesses.
Okay, let's look at the health care thing that the governor mentioned, providing health for all regardless of immigration status.
Yeah, so again, there's a little bit of difference in reality. The governor has sort of backed away from one of his campaign promises of single payer health care, but he did tout the fact that he is expanding Medi-Cal, the state's healthcare program for the poor, to all undocumented immigrants who, were not previously eligible. However, there is still an income cap on that. And so, if you are undocumented and you make above a certain amount, you're not going to be eligible for that Medi-Cal plan. And we found that there's actually hundreds of thousands of people in California that are not going to actually be covered by this plan. So to say health for all is a little bit misleading.
Okay. Another claim the governor made is that they've moved 58,000 people off the streets and sidewalks of our state in terms of trying to deal with the homeless situation. What did you find?
So obviously homelessness is one of the governor's, biggest political liabilities, and he's really devoted a lot of time and energy and resources into combating it. During the pandemic, he had 2 signature programs to move homeless Californians into hotels and motels. One of them, Project Home Key, has moved about 8,000 people off the street, we found. But his other project, Project Room Key, that was more of a temporary solution. And while it did move tens of thousands of people temporarily off the street into hotels, it's unclear if, most of those are still there or if they're back on the street or somewhere else. And because of the nature of the fact that it was a temporary program. And so the state is pouring billions of dollars more into the issue for the next couple of years. But 58,000, that number we did not quite substantiate.
Yeah, it's kind of ambiguous. It's kind of a moving target. Okay, Emily, thank you so much as always. CalMatters is a nonpartisan news organization explaining California policies and politics. Find their work at CalMatters.org. You can also sign up for Emily's newsletter there.